For the next session on Web of Science, we have with us Jaswanth sir. Jaswanth sir is a solutions consultant for scientific and academic research division and team manager content editing at Clarivate. He holds a master's degree in bioinformatics. He has more than 14 years experience in life sciences, data curation, and 5 years in Web of Science and EndNote user trainings. Prior joining Clarivate, Sir has been a bioinformatics trainer for 3 years. We are happy to have you with us, Sir. I now invite Dr. Soundarya Naiki Madam, Deputy Director Ma'am CFR, to felicitate Sir. Kindly accept it, Sir, as a token of our love and appreciation. Thank you, Sir. Over to you, Sir.
Thank you so much for the hospitality, ma'am. So for the next few minutes, I'll be taking you through Web of Science. It is more related to the talk, the previous talk. So I listened to almost half of the session. So you could easily relate to what we will be discussing for the next few minutes. So I'll be taking you through Web of Science. I'll share like very few slides. Then I'll show the demo of the platform and let you know how to navigate through the different features of Web of Science. So to start any research, we will start by analyzing what has been done previously in that field. So for that, it's review of literature. So as Sir mentioned, how we are going to do the review of literature. There are so much of predatory journals in the market now, which will not be following the proper peer review standards, which will not be following the publication ethics. They'll have some agreements with the authors. They just publish the content, whatever they give. So if we are starting our research by referring to any such content, definitely we are not going to end our research also with the quality data. So for that, what we need to identify the quality journals. So there comes platforms like Web of Science to help you in identifying the quality journals. So I'll tell you how the quality journals are being identified in the upcoming slides. So Web of Science is like, it has more than 60 years of rich history. It all originated from a great bibliometric scientist called Dr. Eugene Garfield. And it all started from Science Citation Index, which was maintained by Institute of Scientific Information. Currently, Web of Science is being maintained by Clarivate. Many companies in between have been maintaining Web of Science, and currently it's Clarivate which is maintaining Web of Science. So this is a comprehensive database. This is a very structured database. This is not restricted to any specific subjects. It covers all science, many scientific disciplines, arts and humanities, and social sciences also. So what do we have in Web of Science? There are multiple citation index databases we have inside Web of Science. So I'll be taking it through when I show the platform. So currently we cover more than 34,000 journals, and the addition is now you can also refer to the patents through Web of Science. Patents are also been added to that. We have the coverage from 1900. So there is so much of papers, so much of research studies which is being done now. You can see there are old papers being referred or used as references, which shows that there are still some gaps which could be filled in terms of inventions and other things. Okay, so these content, we have a huge content which will be helpful in identifying the right papers or the right content for you. Okay. So this is one very important slide which shows you the journal selection criteria. So when I say that we have the quality journals, how do we identify the quality journals? So we have a 28-point matrix. Whatever you see in this slide, it will be verified for all the journals manually, and only when the journal passes through all the criteria, then it will be indexed in Web of Science. So starting from whether they have a proper registration number, whether they have a proper journal title, whether they publish in frequent intervals. So there are journals which will be having their first publication in 3 months, then after 6 months, then the next year continuously they will be having for 2 months. So all these things will be evaluated. And more importantly, if we see about the editors. So some of the journals, they'll be mentioning some editors in the editorial board, but when we check for those editors, nobody exists in that name. Okay, so this happens in the overseas journals also. It's not only, I'm not talking only about Indian journals. There are so many overseas journals also. We could see that some editors were mentioned, their citation details will be given, their publication details will be given, but when we try to contact them, nobody will be accessed in that name. So for publicity, all these things will, journals are doing that, and as sir correctly mentioned, it's all business is also involved in it. So there are so many things that we have to check, then only you can identify the correct journal. So all these things will be done manually. And who does this evaluation? In Clarivate we have experts who are placed across the globe. Their job is only to check the quality of the journals. So they will be checking manually, and a collective decision will be taken. This is not a decision taken by one person. So the experts sit together, they'll discuss each and every point, and then it will be decided whether to index this journal or not. And coming to the ethical things, or coming to the metrics, whatever we provide, from Clarivate or from Web of Science, we don't have any publications of our own, and we are not collaborating with any institutions. So whatever metrics we provide, it will be only through the metrics, whatever we publish and whatever it is there in record. So we don't have any collaboration with any journals, we don't have any collaborations with any institutions also. And similarly, the editorial board members who are working in the selecting of the journals, they are also full-time Clarivate employees. They are not associated with any institutions or any publications. And this is a very transparent process. You can also check in Google for Web of Science journal selection criteria. You will be able to see this same slide. And in a nutshell, currently more than 9,000 institutions across the world are using Web of Science. Several ranking agencies and government bodies are using it routinely. For example, NIRF, National Institute of Ranking Framework. So this is an organization which ranks the universities across India. So if any universities have their publications in Web of Science, they'll be given specific weightage. And as I said, the coverage, it's more than 34,000 journals now. And we also have conference proceedings, book titles, then we cover more than 11,000 publishers. We have the coverage from 1900, and as I said, this is a publisher neutral company. We don't have any publications of our own, or we don't maintain any journals. Then, as I said before, the editors are full-time editors, so they don't have any conflicting role. And when a journal is selected to be indexed in Web of Science, we do cover-to-cover indexing, which means that we don't miss any content from the journal, starting from the title, abstract, authors affiliation, funding details, keywords, each and every content will be indexed in Web of Science. And this is a platform which is updated every day. Sir was mentioning about alerts. So when you are using any public databases, you will not be able to do that. Here in Web of Science, you can create an alert so that you don't have to come to the platform every day and see if any new content is added to that or not. You can create an alert so that if any new paper is added to your search, or if your paper is already indexed in Web of Science and you receive a citation, you will be alerted in your registered email ID. This is a citation index database, but to add more value, we also provide some open access content through which you will be able to get the full text papers. So I'll stop here and I'll take you through the platform now. So if you are using Web of Science for the first time, just go to Google and type for Web of Science and you'll be able to see this link, webofscience.com or webofknowledge.com. When you click that, you will be arriving in this page. The first thing which you have to do is you have to do a registration. And Web of Science is an IP based subscription, which means that you will be able to access Web of Science within the institutional premises. And then we give you 6 months of remote access. The first time you have to do it from the institution, and then you can use it outside the institutions for 6 months. And then after 6 months, once you have to log in within the institutional IP range. Then only you will be able to use Web of Science. So the first thing what you have to do is you have to do the registration. This will be like a normal email registration. It can be your personal email ID or it can be your official email ID. Hopefully your librarians will be able to help you on this. So once you have registered, You will be having a username and password, then you can sign in. So the reason for registration is you can access Web of Science within the institutional premises, but to create an alert or to customize a search, only when you create when you register, you will be able to do that. So once you log in, you will be landing in the home page of Web of Science. So this is the smart beta search is now, it's been recently added, where you can search with the keywords. You can click on this advanced search. So here we have multiple fields. So based on your need, you can select whatever is needed and you can do the search. Then we will be having the recent search, whatever we have done, and the latest alerts. So some papers will be recommended based on the search, whatever we have done before. And at the bottom, you will be having this Clarivate training portal and product support. So you can, these all are free sessions, free online sessions. You can register and attend those sessions. And if there is any issue, if you need any support in using Web of Science, you can always write to the product support. Okay. So now we'll do a basic search with Web of Science. So there are two fields. One is topic and title. Topic, when you select topic, whatever keyword we are providing, it will be searched in the title, abstract, keyword and keyword plus. Whereas if you select title, whatever keyword we are providing, it will be searched only in the title of the paper or the title of the journal. Okay, so to have a more extensive search, I am selecting topic. So we'll use a keyword artificial intelligence. Okay. So whenever you are using two words, use it within the double quotes so that that specific string of text will be searched. Okay, otherwise artificial and intelligence will be searched separately and we may get more irrelevant results. So when we do the search, you can see here we have arrived at around 1,40,000 papers. Okay, so this, all the papers will be listed here, and by default these papers will be arranged by relevance. And at the right side, you will be able to know the number of citations and the number of references used by this author. Okay. So this author has referred 25 references and he has received 2 citations. So now if you wanted to know the paper that is added very recently or the newest paper, you can go to sort by and click date newest first. So the whole list of papers will be now arranged based on the date of publication. You can see here it's April 2024. Now we are in September 2023. So there are some journals, they will be publishing their e-version and then before it's getting printed. So we have the agreement with them, and so the abstract will be available in Web of Science well in advance. And if you are interested to work with the papers that are having highest citation, you can select citations highest first. So the whole list of 1,40,000 papers will be now arranged based on the number of citations. So this is one paper which is having around 22,000 citations. So we have 1,40,000 papers. It's not easy to go through each and every papers, right? So how we can refine is there are two options. One is you have refined results here. You can use, you can refine the search with further keywords. So for example, I am doing it with telecommunications. You can also use wildcard characters like star. So all possible words will be searched, like telecommunication, telecommunications. So all those words will be searched. So now you can see we have arrived at around 1,000 papers. So in case if you want to further refine the search, you can use with 5G. You wanted to know about 5G? And we have arrived at around 14 papers. So this is how you can refine the papers until you get a potential set of, until you believe that you have arrived at a potential set of papers. And anytime you want to go back to your search, here you will be having the links that will be working like the backspace button of the browser. So another one option is if you go to menu, here you will be having view search history. So all the searches you have done, it will be available here. So you can see here, we started with artificial intelligence, then artificial intelligence and telecommunications and 5G. So all those searches, whatever we have done will be saved here. You can just click on these numbers and go back to that search. Sorry. So this is one way you can refine your search. Another one option is if you check on the left side, you will be having Web of Science categories. Okay. Currently there are 234 categories in Web of Science. So this is an algorithm which classifies the papers into different categories. So this is one general fit artificial intelligence which could be applied for all the areas. So if you are working something related to engineering, aerospace, and then astronomy, astrophysics. So depends upon your need. Thank you. Depends upon your need. Depends upon your preferred set of category. You can select and then you can refine your search. So this is, and after this, if you want to refine your search, you can also refine with the help of the keywords here. Okay. Now, I said that we will be doing cover-to-cover indexing. Any journal that is selected in Web of Science, we don't miss any content from the journal. So, starting from the title, authors, the journal information, then the abstract. So, author keywords, these are the keywords provided by the author, and keyword plus, these are the keywords provided by Web of Science. So, this is again an algorithm which searches for potential keywords that author has missed, that will be provided here. This is to increase the enhanced keyword search. And we have the author information, to which institution they are affiliated with. So about the categories. Then we will be having the journal information, the impact factor details, and at the bottom you will be able to see the list of references used by this author. So this author has used 39 references, and if you see the right side, you will be able to know the number of citations. So this author has received 566 citations as of now. And if this is your paper, assume that this is your paper and you wanted to know when create an alert, when you receive a citation, you can create an alert. Just click create citation alert. And whenever a citation is received for this paper, you will be alerted in your email ID. You don't have to come to the platform every day and see if there are any new citations. So here we have an option, view related records. So we are talking about the keywords. So there are multiple options. There will be multiple keywords. So we don't have a defined protocol for having a keyword. So one thing which you can do in Web of Science is, you can do a keyword search and just skim through the title and the abstract, and if you find any paper that is very relevant to your area of interest, to assume that if this is your paper, this is one paper which is very relevant to your area of research, you can just open that. So in this paper, this author has cited 32 references. So if you click on this view related records, it will give you the list of all the papers that are having any one of these 32 references linked to it. So you can see here we have arrived at around 13,000 papers. So again, this is here we are not doing a keyword search. Instead, you are identifying a paper, and based on the references linked to that paper, you are getting all the references. So from here, you can further refine your results. Okay. So these are multiple ways you can refine your results and identify the paper that is very relevant to your area of research. Now we have other options in based on the specific needs. So if you are interested in working with the highly cited papers, you can just click here and refine this. So highly cited papers are the top 1% of the cited papers. Then we have the review articles. So early access, I showed you an example. Some of the papers, before it's get printed, it will be available in Web of Science. Open access, I will come back to this. Associated data. Some of the papers will be using some supplementary information like an Excel sheet or a Word document. Mostly statistical papers, or which is having more data, they will be added as an additional content to the paper. So if you are interested in such papers, you can just select and do the associated search. And we have the enriched cited references. So this is one new feature which is added in Web of Science. This is not yet applied for all the journals. This is a beta version. So how this is useful is, if you open any paper, so here you will be having a pictorial representation. So this author has used 44 references. So how he has used that references for defining the basis or to define the background. So what is the purpose the author has used? So this is an algorithm. So each dot here is one reference. So if you roll over the mouse, you will be able to see that each, and if you click on that reference, you will be able to go to that paper. So this will help you to understand how the authors are using papers for different purposes. Okay. And if you go down, here we will be having the open access. So there are different, as I said, mentioned before, Web of Science is a citation index database, and this is not a literature database. But to add more value, we also provide some open access content through Web of Science. So there are different types of open access. One is gold. These are the journals that are listed in directory of open access journals. So the journal itself will be giving their content free of cost. So those journals will be here. Gold hybrid, some of the authors, they used to have an agreement with the journals, and they will be giving their paper free of cost. Means the paper will be a paid, the journal will be a paid journal, but the article will be a free article. Some authors used to do this to increase the number of citations. Then free to read, some of the journals for promotional aspects, they used to give free of cost for a specific period of time. So if a journal, it's published in September, then after 6 months they will be giving 3 months free of cost. So those content will be available here. Green published, green accepted, and green submitted. These are from the repositories. So some of the researchers, they used to keep their research work in public repositories or in some university repositories. So those content will be available here. These all are legal full text articles. And when we are talking about the open access, I would also like to introduce another one product of Clarivate. It's EndNote Click. Previously, this is called as Copper Neo. Okay. So the use of this is any paper that exists in full text is available online in the PDF version. You will be able to get it in one click. So for that, what you have to do, you have to create a login. This is no way connected with Web of Science. So you can, and again, this is a free source. You can create your login, and if you are using Chrome, search for Copper Neo extension Chrome or EndNote Click Chrome extension, and you will be having an option add to Chrome here. Just click that so that you will be able to see this EN icon here. Okay, so how this will be useful? So any paper you open, so any paper we open, in the left side corner you will be able to see view PDF. So if the full text article is available in the PDF format, you will be able to get it in just one click. In case if you wanted to download it for any of your future work also, you can download it. So this not only supports Web of Science, it supports other literature platforms also. For example, if anyone is there from life sciences, so it supports more than 200 platforms now. So in PubMed you can see here, you will be alerted here itself. Okay, so this is how this will be very useful. And from the publishers database also, if you have this view PDF, you will be able to get the full text in just one click. And yeah, so in case if you wanted to download it for any of your future work, you can download it. So we have some refining option on the left side. You can make use of that. Another one thing is you can analyze the results. I'll go back to the search so that if we have some more papers, it will be more explanatory. So we have these analyzed results. So here by default it will be Web of Science categories, and here you will be having a pictorial representation. Okay, this is called tree map chart, and by default it will be number of results 10, The maximum is 25 and the minimum is 5. And the rest of the topics will be at the bottom. Okay. So what is the use of this? For example, if I'll show you with an author. So in case if you are doing a research work and you wanted some help from the experts, so how to identify that? So through this option, if you select authors, you will be able to know which author has contributed more to this area of research. So this helps you in identifying potential collaborators. Similarly, we have the affiliation details. So this will help you to know the publications from different institutions. So this is again helpful for you in terms of identifying potential collaborators, or else if you are looking for any higher studies, if you wanted to know who is working more on your area of interest. So through this you will be able to know which institution is working more on this. And then there are many things. I'm just picking the things that may be useful to you. One is the publication titles. So once you are ready with your manuscript, you wanted to know which journal will be more relevant to your content. So you can do a relevant search in Web of Science, and with the help of this feature, if you select publication titles, you will be able to know which journal has previously accepted similar papers. So in case if you also approach that journal, the rate of acceptance will be high. And we also have the funding details. Funding agencies. So not all the journals will be giving the information about the funding details. So in Web of Science, we have collaborated with some NGO organizations, and we also provide some metadata from other sources and like give you the details about the funding agencies. So if you are looking for some funds and you wanted to know which organization has granted funds previously, this doesn't mean that you can approach this, they will be granting fund. This will give you an idea of who have given granted fund to your area of study. So in case if you approach them, the rate of getting the grant is higher because they have already granted so much of studies similar to what you have done. So the top 25 will be here, and the rest of the like titles or the funding agencies will be at the bottom. Okay. And so there are many other things, like if you wanted to know from countries, research areas, so many things are there. It will be, this is a very structured database. Any search you do, you will be able to see in the same format. Depends upon your need, you can select the fields. So anytime you want to go back to the search, you can just click on Web of Science and you will be able to see the home page. So we can also add multiple rows. So here we have topic. You can add multiple rows here. So we have the top operators here, and or not. Then you can frame a query here itself. So if you wanted to know the publications that are published very recently, then you can select here. 2010 to 2022. Then if you wanted to know the publications from any specific location, select address, and then so in this way also you can frame a query and search. And if you see that this is your potential query, you can create an alert. So any time a new paper is added to this search, you will be alerted in your registered email ID. Just click alert. You have to give a name for this, then create. So by default it will be weekly. Click on manage alerts. So here you will be having save, search and alerts. So all the alerts that you have searched, saved, it will be here. You can go to more options. Then here you can select daily in case you wanted it daily. So just select daily. So every time a new paper is added to your search, you will be alerted in your registered email ID like this. So you don't have to come to the platform every time and search any new papers are added or not. And in case if you don't want, you want to like deactivate for some time, you can make it inactive, or if you don't want it, you can also remove it. So then you will not get any alerts from this. Okay. So in case if you wanted to know the do an author search, we'll have a clear option here. So I'll do a search with one of the names, Subhashri. So when we are doing a search with the name, that is not the very appropriate way, because there may be multiple person exist with the same name. Okay. So now for an example I can show here, we have arrived at 20 papers. Now you can create a citation report. So for this author, the number of citations is 167, and without self citations it's 166. Without self citation in the sense within the institution. So scientist 1 refers to scientist 2's work from the same department, and scientist 2 refers to. So just to increase the citations, people used to do this. And the number of these are the number of articles, and these are the number of times cited. So some of the papers, the same paper will be cited twice. So average citation and Hutch index is a metric which which considers most the citations and the publication details. I'll tell you how it's calculated. So here we will be having a graphical representation of publication versus citations. Then at the bottom we will be having the complete list of these 20 publications and the citations for the past 5 years along with the total citations. Okay. So coming to the Hutch index is 4. So these 20 publications will be arranged based on the number of citations in the descending order. So the paper that is having the highest citation will be at the top. And if you see the fourth paper is having only 4 citations, but if you see the fifth paper, it's having only 4 citations. So any number of paper that is having equal to or more than that, that is the Hutch index. So for example, if the fifth paper is having 6 citations, then the Hutch index will be 5. Okay, so this is how the Hutch index is calculated. So when we do the name search with the name, we are arriving at these details. So what we have to do, the most every researcher, if you are interested in publication, you are advised or suggested to have an ORC ID. So this is again a free source. This is like an Aadhaar card for every researcher. Most of the journals are now asking for this. Even if they are not asking, you can give that. And if you have any old publications also, you can link to it once you create the ORC ID. So once you create the ORC ID, and platforms like Web of Science, we consider this ORC ID and add your information to this. So now I'll do a search with author identifiers. We have an option here, author identifiers. And this is the ORC ID of Dr. Subhashri. It will be always a combination of 4 numbers. So now you can see the list of initially it was 20, now we have 26. And the reason is, you can see here, her name is Nag Subhashri, but it's mentioned here as Nag SC. So if we are like naming of the authors or naming of the institutions, the journals, they don't have any proper standards. So some will be giving the expansion of the initials, some will not be giving. So when we do the search with Subhashri, definitely we will not be able to get this paper. So now if we create a citation report, so you can see the difference. So the number of citations is 1326 and the time cited, and the Hutch index is 15. So if you see the 15th paper, so a dark line will be there, and the number of citations is 31. And if you see the 16th paper, the number of citation is 15. That is less than 16. So this is how the citations is calculated. You can do an author search, and in case if you wanted to know like publication details of an institution, we have the affiliation here. So you can search with so you can see the complete total number of publications from Anna University. This may be differing from the actual number because here we don't cover all the journals. So only the journals that we feel that is matching with our quality criteria, those journals will be here. And about the citation report, this is, as of now, it's available only for 10,000 records. Since it's more than 25,000, we are not able to get the citation details. Maybe I'll try if we can. Yeah. So you can also do a citation report for institutions like this. Okay. So anytime you want to go back to your search, you can go to Web of Science and you will be able to see this. And if you are interested to know the list of all the journals that are published in Web of Science, you can go to products, and here we will be having the master journal list. So you have to log in. You can use the same username and password that you have created for Web of Science. So then for different topics, like for specific areas, if you wanted to know the list of journals, you will be able to identify those lists. And another one, this will be working. In the interest of time, I'm moving to the next, yeah. So you can just search journals here. So the list of all the journals that are indexed in Web of Science will be here. And in case if you are looking for anything specifically like aerospace engineering, then you can select, and all the journals will be listed here. And this is one important tool that could be useful for you. This is an algorithm that is going to be patented. So if you have your manuscript ready, if you have your title and abstract ready, with the help of that, Web of Science will suggest you, this match manuscript will suggest you the most relevant journals for your content. So I am taking an example from Web of Science. Just copy the title. So if you give find journals, this will give you the list of all the journals that are very relevant to your, that are again indexed in Web of Science. Okay, this will help you to identify the most relevant journals for your content. So I'll stop here. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. There are so many things. Maybe if you start using that, you will be getting many questions. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So if you need any help, you can always contact the product support. I can also provide my email ID and contact number. So in case if you need any help, please write to me. I'm happy to help you.
Sir, for non-open access journals, what are the subscription charges, sir? If someone access from other institution,
Okay.
What will be the paid charges for them? For non-open access materials.
Okay. For the I didn't get your question. For non-open access journals?
Journals, how much they will pay for download the journals?
No,
for outside the institutions.
I am not aware of those things because this differs between each journals. So every journals, they will be having their own cost involved in it. So for us, we don't have any direct contact with the journals. Okay. So if we think that journal is maintaining the criteria as per our standards, we just publish their content in Web of Science. So we don't have any information with related to the cost involved in publication or the decision how they are selecting the papers or those things. We will not be able to know.
So for particular thing, we have to contact them only.
Different journals. That journal only you will be able to contact.
We won't interfere. You won't interfere with them. Huh?
No, okay. We don't have any role on that.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving the overall idea about the Web of Science and how to calculate the H index, all those things. Thank you very much, sir. I request our director, ma'am, to